this is Paul Nelson with Western Sport Floors, Wyoming Wood Floors. We're coming to you today from Clinton, Montana, and today we're going to talk about the Super Sanders. These are sanders that a team of us have developed over a period of 15 years, and the different innovations that we've been able to put together, and frankly, some of these innovations we've copied from other people and other companies, other organizations, maybe even other sanders. But I'm unaware of anywhere a sander being put together with all the things that we've been able to pack into these super sanders. Jared is going to go through and chat about the specific items on these sanders that make them truly special. The reason these sanders, the American 12s, have become and remain the gym floor sander of choice, well, there's several reasons, but maybe the main one is right here. This American 12 has a single drum shaft that runs all the way through that drum, and it's supported on a bearing on each side. And that allows this machine to be set up with a tremendous amount of head pressure and even weights sitting over that drum. And it gives you the ability on old nasty floors that have just decades worth of polyurethane to just grind through it, just absolutely plow through the polyurethane. And Galaxies and Hummels are great machines, but based on the fact that they're really belt machines, they only have that bearing on one side because you have to be able to slip a belt into the other side. And you just don't have the ability to really hammer down the head pressure like you can on these old Americans. Now, for everything there's a drawback. The split drum does have some propensity to leave some chatter, so we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how we almost entirely eliminate the chatter off of these split drums. So Jared, we just talked about the drum, the split drum. And can you talk about this board, what you did, how you made this board, what it is?
I wanted to get the flattest surface I can without carrying around a slab of granite or a giant piece of glass that's super smooth, but then you also can't attach a piece of sandpaper to be able to dress your drums. So went to Home Depot, got this Baltic birch, super smooth. It's a 1/2-inch piece. I split right down the middle, so it's 2 feet wide. I glued it together and I made it a 1-inch board. And the reason I did that was so it matched up with my scale for when I set head pressures. It rolls off there just perfectly. And the other reason is it's a super smooth piece to be able to staple sandpaper to be able to dress our drums.
So let's take one step at a time. So before you would dress this drum, the first thing you would do would be to go ahead and balance that.
Yep.
Is balance the right term? I guess make sure the drum is flat relative to the floor.
Yep. I will bring the sander forward, test it a little bit, and be able to see the discoloration on the drum when I'm dressing it. From there, I'll make a slight adjustment. If I see it's turning the drum a brighter color on one side, I will adjust the knob on the side.
Let's demonstrate where that adjustment is.
Right down in here, there's this cam essentially that attaches to the trucks.
The wheel trucks?
The wheel trucks underneath of the sander that lift the sander up and down. There's a rod that goes all the way through to the other side. I believe on ours, we have this little set screw.
I guess if this drum is level, you don't have to mess with it. But basically, you're going to back that washer off.
Yep.
And that allows you to get a wrench on this cam.
Yep. And I adjust the whole machine side to side to be able to get a perfectly smooth.
And so, to look at that, to do a rough adjustment, you kind of just get your eyeball down there and look at it.
Yep.
Right?
You have someone run the handle. It's hitting perfectly all the way across, the best to my eye's ability. That's also where the dressing can come into hand.
Right. So now using our wheel truck adjustment cam, I don't even know if that's the actual term, but it's close, right?
Yep.
we've gotten that drum level to the best of our ability to kind of eyeball it.
Yep.
Basically, we would hook this thing up to power, run it over your sandpaper, and we'd let that down a couple of times. And you'd be watching to make sure that that drum is dressing approximately even across the face of it.
I always have someone running the handle while I watch. I give them hand markers down, up, down, cut it off.
So now we have, at this point, leveled the drum side to side. We've dressed the drum on our sandpaper. And now can you demonstrate how you're going to check for drum head pressure?
So I got my scale up there, matches up to our board just about perfect. I'll usually have another person running the handle as well while I look. Come forward a little bit. And he's just going to set it down.
And what's your desired weight on that?
My desired weight is 65 to 70 pounds.
So in that 65 to 70 pounds of head pressure.
Yep.
And were we there? Are you pretty close there?
We were not.
Okay. So we're going to have to make some adjustments to get
Yep.
this thing where we'd like it. And we really don't know why they come out of adjustment, but we recognize they are bouncing down the road in trailers for hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and demonstrate both the rough and the fine adjustment for that head pressure.
Yeah, there's one bolt holding this motor on. Starting with taking your main belts off. This is the main belt that will drive your drum. The rear belt drives your fan motor in there to be able to help pump all your dust out. Try and lift with your knees, not your back. Or use your back like me. And here are your three main adjustment screws for setting your main head pressure. Whenever you're setting these, we'll give these a couple turns clockwise, which will increase the head pressure. This was just at 38 and I want to get to 65, 70. I'll do a half turn on each of them. Maybe it only gives it 10, 20 pounds. That'll get me fairly close to where I can use this fine adjustment knob. Every rotation with that fine adjustment knob gives me 2 to 3 pounds of pressure. Sometimes these lines aren't perfect for how much thread is showing on these adjustment screws, so I really get the threads as close as I can get. These ones are all lined up pretty close. They're all straight across here. It makes it a lot easier. Some of my other machines, one of them is crooked, but it's got the same amount of thread showing as the other ones. You get it back to roughly where it's gonna sit. Okay, so that's putting us at 51. This rear knob is the fine adjustment. Clockwise here is getting tighter. These electronic scales, it really varies on the placement. It's not like the old ones with the old dial that would go up. Can hardly find them anymore like that.
So just to reiterate here, Jared, what we've done is we've verified that our drum was level.
Yep.
And we've demonstrated how the wheel truck can be adjusted to level that drum. We've demonstrated how we would go about what we would call dressing the drum, which is to take off a slight amount of that rubber to truly balance that drum to this machine.
Yep.
We've demonstrated how we would go about adjusting the head pressure. You, at this point, I think, are doing kind of this process about every other gym. Yes?
Yep, exactly. As you get to know your machine some more, you can tell which one is cutting a little bit harder. That's where that fine adjustment comes in handy. And with dressing the drums, it's every other job gets a perfectly smooth drum. Can usually last the 2 jobs, and you start over and you get a perfect gym floor every time.
And if we ever start to see chatter, the first thing we think about is dressing that drum,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
And we recognize that there's lots of things that can cause chatter. Certainly if you had some kind of polyurethane buildup on your wheels.
Yes, yep, it can cause your machine to just
Bounce around.
hop along. Typically that's on the first cut when you're essentially melting all that old polyurethane off. It doesn't always like to get sucked up in your dustpan, so when it gets caught on your wheels and you're kind of hopping there. It goes away, and luckily it's on that first cut. So you're coming over it with, for us, typically 2 more cuts that will eliminate that.
Right. But if we're seeing chatter and it's not polyurethane built up on the wheels,
Yep.
we know our bearings are in good shape. Really, the only other suspect here is the drum.
Yes.
Correct? And we had a challenge with a drum here recently that we'd never seen before.
Yeah, we put paper on it, and it would immediately, before you even put it on the ground, would spit it out, the sandpaper and the shim that was in there.
You can kind of see this drum is in good shape.
Yeah, it was replaced beginning of the summer.
Beginning of the summer, and we hadn't sanded that many floors.
Nope. This particular set had maybe 2 or 3 floors on it.
Yeah. And here's what we found. This drum actually had a crack in it in the aluminum casting. So that was frustrating to say the least.
Very.
We're going to send this drum back to Jerry Brainerd, Revolution Manufacturing. I talked to him about it. He thinks he can probably weld it, but if he can't weld it, it becomes scrap aluminum.
Yeah.
No longer a viable piece of equipment. So, but that's a problem we'd never seen before, so I don't think it's something to really be on the lookout for necessarily.
No.
I guess if your drum absolutely won't hold paper, that is one possibility.
And it's very tough to see on the machine, but if you are having that issue, you take a flashlight and without paper, shine it down this crack. You can see it down in there just slightly, that it's separated.
And frankly, that could be a consequence of over-tightening these cams, couldn't it?
Absolutely. That, the drum heating up too much, and
Right. So it is important to get your paper in correctly, tighten it, but don't go crazy on it.
yeah, that's another thing that can lead to chatter is over-tightening your paper. Separates that, gives it a bigger gap there.
So it becomes egg-shaped.
Yeah, it can cause chatter if you're not putting your paper on correct as well. This is something that Paul has come up with over the years, and certainly just about anyone could do it. It's a very simple concept. Is when we're running 2 of our American 12 sanders side by side, we essentially designed this plate. This piece was already here, welded a chunk onto it, put a stud in there, a smooth stud, and have this adjustable ball joint here. And what that allows us to do is when we hook it to our other machine, we can adjust our sanders to give it a slight toe, a very slight toe in, to be able to help with tracking back and forth, forward and backwards across the gym. Some people might not notice a huge difference. I definitely have. I've unhooked this before just to give it a try, and I don't think I could run a sander without it. It's a very simple piece and works very well. The other change to our super sanders that we have done on all of our sanders is this tensioner here. The original one from American Sanders comes kind of on a pulley with a press fit bearing in there. From what we found, if that goes bad, it's virtually impossible to replace in the field. What we've done is put 2 bearings here. They're sealed bearings, double sealed bearings actually. It's the same size that the drum uses. I have never had one go out on me. It has worked flawlessly for years, and we almost never change those. If it does fail, it's as easy as just taking this bolt off, going and getting new bearings, putting them on there, and you're good to go. Connecting these is as simple as it gets. Once you get them completely set up, I always like to start with this front hitch, just because once you have the rear one on, it's a little bit tougher to get this one on, but getting this one on first is definitely the easiest. This is another piece that we have come up with over the years. The old system, just like a straight bar across, and had just little mounting points on the sides here. From what I've heard from many contractors is that these pins that are connected to that bar tend to snap fairly regularly, especially having newer guys running the sanders. And with this thing, it keeps it tied in a lot better. Looking on the sides of this, there's these adjustment nuts. It's the other thing we use to adjust for that toe in just a little bit to help it track a lot straighter. And this slides right on. There's 4 pins that connect it. Putting your ball joint pieces on the bottom of these springs when you hook it to this hitch just gives you a little bit more straight on pattern here. If it was up top, you know, a lot more leverage there to be able to snap these pins off. Just kind of going over our handles. This was our previous iteration. This is how the sanders would come from American. They have this finger, these glad hands is what we call them. You raise and lower the machine with your fingers here. And what I have found over a single job, and you do it all summer, this just kills your hands. It's not the greatest time. I love sanding, but when my hands start to burn, it sucks. So this is kind of a new system on these ones we have recently come up with. And instead of using your fingers now, you use your palm. Compared to the old ones where my fingers would be here, I'd be squeezing all day. Now I've got 2 palm handles. And in these handles, there's a lot of different adjustments that you can change these to whatever is comfortable for you. This also spins with your hand, making it very comfortable. I can do this all day without having any issues. There's so much adjustment with this. If you have an issue with getting sore at the end of the day, it might just be a simple adjustment. Coming to our electrical boxes on our handles, they're definitely a little bulkier than the old ones, but for good reason. It's essentially a bird's nest inside of the older style handles. And what we've done is come in here. We have 3 LED readouts here for the 3 hot lines coming in, with the ground. The ground doesn't show. We have a main switch on each of these handles to be able to turn on your sanders. 2 wires coming out of here, one to run your rider, and then if you are using a dust collection system, you have the ability to hook that straight into this other handle. There's another aux switch here to be able to turn your dust collection system on and off. The other thing we've added is a polarity switch. So say you get to the job site and your electrician just hooked up your pigtails and your drums are spinning the wrong way. You come here, switch it over, it's spinning the other way. Saves you time from changing 2 hot lines in a plug or having to call an electrician back to change 2 lines in the box. They're all UL certified parts. So we set up all of our plugs throughout our cord exactly the same. And we have a wiring diagram. Green, obviously ground. We go Z to black, Y to white, and X to red. And inside these handles, we also put a schematic that shows you exactly how this box is wired up. In case you do have any type of failure, a wire goes bad, something, you know exactly where to plug it in and trace it down to. Not everyone's an electrician. We try and make it as easy as possible.
Well, Jared, thank you for going through these machines. And some of these things were my brain children and some of them were your brain children. I think I can say with a fair amount of confidence that these are the finest machines anywhere in the world today when it comes to sanding gymnasium floors.
I definitely agree. I wouldn't want to do them on anything else.
Right. And that's not even bragging. It's just we've put a lot of sweat, time, and tears and energy into these machines. And, you know, we're willing to sell them.
Yeah.
And we do want to stress, we call them the super sanders because they are the super sanders. They're fantastic machines. These are rebuilt machines. We're using the original chassis. Everything else is basically new. The wheels are new, the bearings are new. These handles we've made are new and powder coated, and the chassis are powder coated. Really, the only thing from the original machine is just kind of that chassis, I guess the wheel truck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few little components, but everything has been taken apart. It's been powder coated. It's been
Yeah.
remanufactured for all all practical purposes.
The upgrades that we do make it to our standard of what we want to put on a gym floor to get the results that we want.
To get the results that we want. And the results that we want are no chatter. We want a machine that's going to cut like everything else. But when it's all said and done, do a job that is really a premium sanding job on that floor.
Yep.
So, hope this has been informative. We love our super sanders, don't we, Jared?
Absolutely.
Thank you for all your help.
Absolutely.
Western's Forward Floors and Wyoming Wood Floors coming to you today from Clinton, Montana. This is Paul Nelson. You make it a great day.